messing around with all kinds of technology. I'm feeling very fancy today. My name is Vander Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. Now, I wish you could see my screens at the moment. I've got like a little audio limiter thing. So it is measuring the volume and the loudness of what I'm speaking at. So theoretically, what happens is if I speak really loud, it's going to help bring that down so I don't destroy your ears. Isn't it cool, the things that technology can do in software? And what does it help me to move the needle on my business and whatever I need to do? Well, that's a whole different story. But it's cool to have these little things that just keeps life interesting, even if it's a little piece of software. And it makes me feel like I know something. But that is also what happened today in two instances. I got to connect with two of my good friends. Strange relationships. The one guy I met through a good friend, he was a guest. We started talking and he's doing all kinds of content. And we just meet haphazardly in every couple of weeks. And then we talk about content creation and marketing and all these things. And it's always a bit weird because, there's work to be done and then you have to shift time around to meet. And then afterwards you actually go, wow, that was actually quite useful. And then on the other end, it's a bit of a tough one. I've mentioned that I'm looking at doing a small content project with a friend, a connection of mine here in Poland. We've done some professional business together back when I was still at the consultant in the consultancy at the Big Four, where he was kind of a supplier / client, and we've reconnected. And I think during the pandemic, we all have these kind of different things that we're exploring. So I'm exploring a few things with him, but what I'm feeling good about is that we are discussing collaborating, but then also like figuring out, why are we doing this? What is the strategy? A lot of the stuff that I've done with very good friends of mine, Mike and Roman, they know that, who is it for? What is it for? And then figuring out if it makes sense. And at the moment, there is a bit of movement. I'm not seeing big money here, but, there's always potential. But I do see perhaps having the ability to collaborate with someone in the country where I live and maybe connecting with the market here. One of the big drawbacks of leaving Deloitte here in Poland was that Deloitte was also a global company and operated much as that. But then also I got to connect with Polish folks that were used to working cross-border. So there wasn't really like a cultural misalignment, specifically around language. Of course, we all had to kind of find the middle ground, but we got together in that little building with certain things kind of moved out the way, culturally, language-wise, so we could connect and we could really connect on a certain level and find some mutual, grounds for collaboration. And since leaving Deloitte, I've kind of lost that aspect of living in Poland, which is probably also very evident in the content that I'm creating here, because especially now that I'm unable to really connect and go out and meet people in Warsaw, for example, and I did do a lot of that before the pandemic. Now that's not happening. Spur of the moment coffees aren't happening, and spur of the moment Zoom calls isn't really a thing in my world at the moment, especially with some of my connections actually having full-time jobs. So it's easier to grab a cup of coffee or a lunch, and now that is kind of off the table. So this collaboration might represent a reconnection with folks here in Poland a little bit more, to really like scratch away at what's going underneath. And there's a real entrepreneurial spirit here in Poland that I'm hoping to recapture for myself. So that could be interesting. I don't know. I'm also still willing to shift it off the table if it's not going to make any sense. So good to explore that. Then on the family front, not much has changed since we last spoken. Francie's gone back to kindergarten. That's a big change. Oh, I forgot. a huge change is that the beast from the east, the cold front, is here, and it's really coming down heavily. It's snow everywhere. It's crazy. I spoke about snow coming down about 2 weeks ago. It's worse now. There's really it's like I've never seen flurries. There's flurries coming down, and it's like sands. Like it reminds me of Cape Town when the the wind blows and you have this collection of sea sand everywhere. And this is kind of the same vibe. It's just white snow everywhere. So very strange to experience and see. If not super cold. I mean, it's in the minus. Of course, it's cold, but it doesn't feel that cold, which is strange. But we're expecting to have this weather for most of the week. So really, the coldest winter that I've experienced since I've been here in Poland. So that in itself is also an interesting experience. Probably less so extraordinary, because what would probably happen within a non-pandemic state is that we would go out and find maybe a ski slope or somewhere to enjoy this more. And for me, the biggest enjoyment about the snow experience is hot wine and eating way too much. And I miss that. That's something I really miss. So maybe Marta and I will try and rustle up some hot wine again and enjoy that together. But it also really goes to the head, and then nothing gets done. But lots going on. Definitely a start of the week. Not as hectic as I wanted it to be, and it might be a little bit of procrastination on my side, which means that I'm going to have to catch up on a few things quite soon. So starting the week on a little bit of a procrastination back foot. I hope you're doing better, and at least I have the extraordinary of the white flurry of snows outside to appreciate. So leaving it there and hopefully sounding brilliant with my new technology trickery. Yeah, right. I know you're shaking your head. Cool. Thanks for listening, and see you on the flip side. Ciao.